welcome to Art to Heart. Today we are going to interview Carolynn Barnhart in Canada. So let's see what she has to say.
Live in Ontario,
Ontario, okay.
and 4 hours east of Toronto. And we live in a rural setting, so it's very peaceful, very quiet, and that's why I'm nature oriented with my art. During my career, in the beginning, I taught out of our private studio and did that for 20 years. And so I experienced and gave out my knowledge to the students and did all sorts of disciplines. I love it all. When I went to art school, it changed my life completely.
Wow, was this something was this something you wanted to do since the beginning of your life? You wanted to become an artist, or it showed up in your life later?
Well, it showed up later. The story is that my daughter was in grade 9 and she came home with artwork that she hated and said she wasn't an artist, she couldn't draw, she couldn't do this and that. But I was intrigued, and I started taking classes, and one thing led to another, and then I went to art school, and I haven't looked back since.
Amazing. Okay, I want to talk about The Eye of the Storm.
Yes.
Because it's a work that was featured in the 18th Top 60 Masters of Contemporary Art. So congratulations.
Well, thank you very
It's
much.
such an amazing piece. It really is. And I want to hear the story behind it.
Well, the eye of the storm, at that particular time, there was a lot of unrest in the world. Um, and a lot of injustice towards women and children and people fighting each other, countries fighting each other. And so the eye of the storm is that eye that's looking down on all this stuff that's going on in the world. And from there, the painting just overtook me. There were times when I thought that the painting was in charge, that I wasn't. It was that powerful. And I guess at that point I was just back from Italy, so the mountains and the scenery really got me going in a different direction instead of being flat all the time, because it's very flat here in our place. The influence of the mountains and everything in Italy it just went into my head, and that was it. I keep using that now, even 4 years later. So it's I get pretty emotional about world events. When I was a child, you didn't think of those things, and now I still feel as if I'm a child. I still feel that I want to create, I want to be happy, I want to give happiness to everyone. And but it comes out in the paintings that there's all that strife going on.
Yes.
Not all the paintings, but it does come.
It has a lot of movement. Your work has a lot of energy. Are you always inspired? Are you always painting?
Mostly, yes. But I have periods where I'm completely blocked and can't do anything. But then when I taught my students, I was very interested in the mandala and getting them to, it was the Western interpretation where you put marks on the paper and then you started to draw. And when I get to a blockage like that, I go back to the mandala, put the paint on the canvas and let it go.
Wow, that's meditation. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
fantastic.
My technique is I love to use the painting knife, and that's I rarely use the brush except to do touch up or whatever. But the painting knife, and I have several different sizes. I could my intuition, my inspiration just flows with the use of the palette knife because you can't be too detailed with a palette knife. At least I
Yes.
can't anyway.
And it speaks a lot about you because you can't be too controlling. When you have
Hmm.
a palette knife, you have to kind of let go if you use a palette knife, right?
Yes, yes. No, when I first went to start classes for myself, my teacher was a graphic artist, and she graded us really difficultly, and just didn't pull any. She told it like it was, and so we had to draw eggs one day, and using pencil. And her comments on my eggs were that they looked like fuzzy mushrooms. And that just,
Oh,
so, from there, I know she's still teaching at the college in Ottawa and everything, but I'll have to send her my website.
yes, and tell her where you are now. You know what you're doing. Send her a painting. Send her a picture of a painting. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exciting. Well, speaking of challenges now, have you have any challenges that you think that you have had to overcome throughout this journey that you had?
Well, yeah, I've always thought my artwork wasn't good enough, that it didn't look like anybody else's, and what was wrong with me? Why couldn't I paint like so and so down the street? Well, over time, I realized that hey, you have to show your own personality and do it, and whether people like it or not, that's not the point. That I am working and doing it. So
That's
that was the biggest challenge. And I do credit my students for inspiring me because I really had to work to get them inspired, and in turn, they inspired me. And so that was a challenge as well.
wow. Well, one of the things that I love about artists, really great artists, really good artists are so humble. Yeah, I don't know. I think even, Leonardo da Vinci, when he finished, he never finished it, I think. But anyway, when he thought he was done with the Mona Lisa, he wasn't sure about it. It's like there's this thing within each artist. It's like we never see that it's good enough. We
Mm-hmm,
never see,
mm-hmm.
we have this perfectionist, always striving for the masterpiece mindset, and it's actually probably a strength also because it kind of pushes you to do better and to do better and to do better. But
Well, and to keep at it.
yes, exactly, exactly.
I went to visit the Van Gogh Museum last year, and we bought the book of his letters to his family. And those letters, just I was almost in tears when I read the book. It's a thick book, and but all the letters that he wrote to his family and to his brother, every day he wrote, and every day he wasn't good enough. Why am I doing this? And all the anxieties that he had, and I realized, well, yeah, we all do. We all have those
Yes,
anxieties.
we do. Everything we do, any creative individual, I think, has that doubt.
Hmm.
Is this really good enough? Should I show this? And
Yes.
but your works are amazing, really.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I was stunned when you featured me in your 60s Masters, and then the following summer publication, I just, wow.
Yes, and we got great feedback from the public, and the readers really love your works. And I'm really happy. I'm just honored. I'm honored to have you, and we're honored to bring your works again to Red Dot Art Fair. I'm so excited, really. We have an amazing selection of artists. And well, I'm just happy. What other plans do you have for 2016? What's coming up?
Well, you've invited me to go into the 2016 60 Masters
Yes.
publication, which is great. So I'm working for that. And then I have a solo show in New York City with Artifact Gallery in October.
Exciting. That sounds exciting.
So
Well,
yeah, so I'm busy and I love it.
new works. Do you have any new series that you're working on?
Well, I'm working on another triptych. I like working in triptychs
Yes.
because I tell a story.
Yes.
Um, and this story is that 2 years ago, the doctors told me that I had cancer, that probably had cancer, and um, of course, I was devastated, and I put up my canvases, and the colors that came out were bright, bright yellow, and just so bright that that was my way of reacting to all this. Well, it turned out I didn't have cancer at all, um, but now I've finally decided I can go back to those paintings and redo them because here I am. I'm alive. I
Yes.
made it.
Fantastic. I'm so
So
happy.
that was and it's all flowery and all different colors. And my daughter said, "Look Japanese," and but that's what I do. Emotions really drive me. I just yeah.
Put it
If
out there.
if it's a sunny day, I'm happy to work. If it's cold outside, well, I go out anyway and try and liven myself up and come back to the studio and
You gotta tell us your
oh yeah.
website before we go.
Yeah, it's www.carolynbarnhartvisualartist.com.
Okay. Is there something else you would like to share with the public before we close?
Um, yeah, well, just keep your heads up, keep working, and enjoy what you do. I think we are all, because we are, not to say that we're gifted, but we're allowed to be gifted, allowed to use
Yes.
those those tools, because no one else can do that. I mean, if you're working in an office for the 40 years or whatever, you don't have this at all. You don't have this life at all.
And it's such
Yeah.
a wonderful life, right? The life of an artist.
Well, it is. I mean, we have our ups and downs, and yes, it gets cold here in Canada, but we work through it, and it's our little paradise here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so
So
much.
thank you very much, Viviana. This has been wonderful. You put me at ease, and I feel great about it.
Thank you, thank you. And I thank everybody that have been watching, and I thank you for tuning in, for supporting the art. See you soon. If you're an artist and would like to participate in our Art to Heart interviews, feel free to contact me at info@arttourinternational.com and share your story of inspiration. The wonderful world of the arts awaits for you here at Art to Heart. See you soon.